Just how woke has Canada become? A Montreal church was just fined $2,500 for hosting a U.S. Christian singer without a permit. Is it really about a missing permit? Not likely. On July 25th, the city of Montreal slapped a $2,500 fine on a Spanish-speaking church for hosting a concert by US-based Christian musician Sean Feucht. The city says the church didn't have a permit for the event, which was part of Feucht's Revive in 25 tour. However, the event went ahead despite warnings from the city inspectors and Montreal police. Protesters gathered outside, chanting anti-Trump slogans, and a smoke bomb was even thrown inside the church. No arrests for that, by the way. The city claims the concert ran counter to Montreal's values of inclusion, solidarity, and respect. This, of course, follows other Canadian cities that took the same stance, like Quebec and the Maritimes. Try to keep in mind that we're talking about liberal strongholds that helped Mark Carney win the recent election by uniting them all against Donald Trump.
Quebec City has canceled the upcoming show of a controversial Christian musician. Sean Feucht was scheduled to play on July 25th at Expo Cité. The city, which owns the venue, says the presence of the artist was not mentioned in the contract, so now it's been terminated. Feucht is closely aligned with Trump allies and has spoken out against abortion and 2S LGBTQ+ rights. The news comes after mounting pressure from opposition parties in Quebec City and community groups who promised to protest outside the venue.
They want to spread extremely conservative religious messages to the population here in Quebec.
The cities of Charlottetown and Moncton revoked permits for Feucht's shows after public outcry. So did Parks Canada in Halifax, all of them citing safety and security considerations.
To me, the real story here is not just about canceling some concerts by a Christian rock singer. It's about the way they frame it in the left-wing media. And despite the fact that Sean Feucht might have some views the media would call extremist, it's actually perfectly legal to have extremist views. Or at least it used to be.
That might be a sign that they're becoming more extremist, but we also have to remember that having the most extremist views is perfectly legal in Canada, and that it's only acting with violence to prove that view that becomes a criminal offense.
So Sean had a tour of Canada that was canceled by the government. He had one appearance that was going to be at a national park, permitted, all the boxes checked. Then the national park, which is a government agency, suddenly said he's not welcome. Now, they couldn't come right out and say that he's not welcome because he's Christian, but they said because of his views, there's a safety issue. So, of course, whoever was making the threats gets to win, and whoever would be the victim of the threats has to lose. It's a lie, of course. Safety is a word that they used during the pandemic to lock us all down.
Sean Feucht is no stranger to controversy. He's a supporter of the Make America Great Again movement, has spoken out against abortion, gender ideology, and the LGBTQ plus rights, and has been called a Christian nationalist by left-wing media outlets like The Atlantic. So, his Canadian tour was cancelled by the government, citing public safety concerns after protests from activists. I wonder how many foreign Muslim or Hindu singers have performed at mosques or temples in Canada without permits and not being fined. Or is it just that Feucht's politics, his support for Trump and traditional Christian values, make him a target? If he were singing about something the left approved of, would the city have cared about the permit? No, folks, it's all about politics and the left trampling the freedom of speech, just like they've done over the last 9 years. All you have to do is take a look at the headline in the National Post, which is not the woke press. Montreal church fined $2,500 for hosting U.S. Christian singer without permit. And compare that to the ultra-woke CBC, government-controlled media, and it says MAGA-affiliated musicians scheduled to play in 2 BC public parks despite pushback. Or another government-supported media outlet like Global News. City fines Montreal church for hosting MAGA-affiliated singer Sean Feucht. Just how threatening is Make America Great Again movement to Canada? Well, it's a threat because the left says it's a threat. The government thinks for us. They make decisions for us. They cancel concerts for us. But is it for us or for them? Their stranglehold on power in this country dictates what we see, think, and feel. And they're so good at it. Does anyone even remember the attack on our freedoms during COVID, which we've all learned was manufactured from the get-go? Here's Feucht himself, calling out what he sees as an attack on religious freedom. He's got a point. Why is the church being fined for worshiping on its own property?
This is the same exact place where people gathered for a pride event last week, but now they're not so tolerant when peaceful Christians want to come together. And I'm telling you guys, we are hitting on something in the nation of Canada, and this is not the hour to back down. This is not the hour to cower. This is not the hour to bow down to the mob. No, we need to rise up. And so tonight, we are going to gather. The show's going on, baby. God is with us. The kingdom only advances, and I need you to spread the word to the new location, to everybody that you know. I want to see Christians there from 100 miles away. Let's take a stand in Canada.
Feucht calls these events church services, not concerts, focused on worship and prayer. His supporters say he's spreading a message of faith, not politics, but critics point to his mega ties and say his events stir division. Look, I've watched the clips of his performances. There's no American flag waving or Make America Great Again banners. It's people singing, praying, and worshiping.
I raise a hallelujah with everything inside of me. I raise a hallelujah in the middle of the mystery. I raise a hallelujah. Break off the fear. Fear, you've lost your hold on me. I'm gonna sing.
Does this look like a political rally or a worship service? So why the crackdown? Is Canada so allergic to Christian expression that a church can't host a worship night without a permit? Or is this about silencing someone whose politics don't align with the woke elite? Canada's problems didn't start with Sean Feucht, Trump, or even MAGA. They've been brewing for 9 years under Liberal leadership. First Trudeau, now Carney. And it's been a masterclass in poor governments. Skyrocketing costs, housing crisis, and a border that's more porous than a sieve. The Liberals won their last election by uniting Canadians against the boogeyman of Trump and his tariffs. But have they done anything to address those tariffs? Nope. Just more posturing while small businesses and families feel the squeeze. This church fine isn't just about a permit. It's a symptom of Canada where free speech and religious freedom take a backseat to woke ideology. If you don't toe the line, you're cancelled, fined, or worse. Just how woke is Canada? Well, when a church can't worship without a $2,500 fine, I'd say we're pretty far gone. Drop your thoughts in the comments, and if you want to stay on top of stories like this, hit the subscribe button. This is It's Your Money, and I'm Glenn Zacher, reminding you to question the narrative and stand up for what's right. I'll see you next time.